Hey guys, welcome back to another video in the series of Git Crash Course. So today we are going to understand the workflow in Git. So as you can see on my screen, there is workflow for local and there is another workflow which is the second one for remote. We'll understand both of them one by one. So let's get started. So if you can see on my screen, I have created two areas over here, local and remote over here. I'll tell you the workflow, that how the code flows from one place to the another, from local to remote, from remote to local. So the first step that you have to do is you have to initialize, but where? So you have to understand these three things. First would be working area or a working directory. Second would be your staging area. Third would be your Git repo. This is everything is in local. You can see this line over here, which is a bifurcation between local and remote. And then your GitHub will be the hosted one, which is remote. So the first step would be you have to initialize a working directory in local, or you can initialize on the GitHub. These are the same thing. You have to do here as well or here as well. On the second step, once you have initialized, you will create a file over here in the second step. You can edit an existing file as well. So once you create that, there would be a change, there would be a delta. Once done, you have to stage those changes in the third step in the staging area. You will use add command. We'll talk about commands more once we do the practical. It will be much more clearer to you. Now once you have done the changes, you have staged the changes, then you have to commit using commit command. Now once you commit it, you can give a message also, which we'll see in the demo. And then once after your commit is done, you have to push the changes to the remote branch. So again, I'll be repeating it. Initialize it, create a file or edit a file, stage the changes, and then commit it, giving a message which is relevant to the commit that you have done or the change that you have done. And then finally you have to push it. Once you push it, everything that you have changed over here will be moved to the GitHub or remote repository. Now once it will come over here, you can see that if there are many developers who are working on this, they must be having their own changes over here. Now in case you want to have these changes which are on the remote into the local area or local working directory, you have to pull. So this is the last step, which is the sixth step. Let's say an example. You have created a file 1.txt, you have staged it, committed it and pushed it. Your remote repository will be having 1.txt. But there would be a developer who has written 2.txt, and then you want that file to be in your working area or working directory. So all you have to do, you have to type pull command, and then all the code that has been written by any other developer, just like 2.txt, will come in your working area. So that is a basic workflow in the local part. Let's move on to the remote. Most of the steps are same. It's just that you don't have to initialize any kind of repository in the local. It will start from here on the remote. So now the flow will be like this. So the first step is you have to set up a repository on GitHub. Once done, you just have to clone it. So the command would be git clone in the repository URL. Now this command will be more clear when we do the demo part. So once you have cloned it, it will come into your working area or the directory. Once it will come here, then the steps has to be the same and you have to just repeat them. You have to create a file, edit or modify that. Once done, you have to move to the fourth step, which is stage our changes using an add command. Same, after that you have to commit them using commit command and add a message which is relevant to the change, and after that sixth step would be the push command. So once you push it, the code will come over here. So if you have created a file such as 2.txt, you have to just commit it and then 2.txt will come on the remote GitHub. So this is your remote repository. And similarly, which I talked about in the previous slide, that if any other developer has some changes done over here, you just have to pull it and those changes will be in your working area or your working directory. So this is the basic workflow. I'll just repeat it. You have to create it on the setup on GitHub, which is the repository, clone it in your local, Then you have to create or modify a file, stage the changes, commit the changes, and then just push. If there is any change on the remote repository, just pull it into your working area or working directory. So this is very easy guys to understand. In case you have any questions, feel free to comment below and we'll address all of them. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.